Jorge, what have you been seeing on the ground?
Well, Natasha, just in the last hour or so, the protest here is starting to build up outside the ICE facility here in Portland. Right now, about 250 to 300 people are now on the scene. We want to take you around so you can get a look here. We have protesters here. This is right here is the ICE facility. About 30 minutes ago, we did see federal agents come out of the ICE facility. We saw some clashes with the crowds and the agents as the agents attempted to clear out the driveway as they allowed more federal vehicles to arrive.
Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer. Now, let's talk a little bit about federal troops and federal agents being sent into cities. We have seen it. It has happened in Washington, D.C. They're going into Memphis, and they're going to Portland. We're having a conversation about what's happening out in Portland. Well, everyone there tells us everything's fine, but we all know everything is not fine. The problem may not be the whole city burning down, which they seem to tell us how wonderful everything is. The problem is you have an issue in a very specific part of Portland where the Portland authorities are not helping the federal law enforcement there.
In your perspective, are federal military forces necessary and needed in Portland right now?
It sure doesn't seem so. This is the responsibility of city and state authorities to protect federal installations. Actually, the actions by the federal government, the announcements, do seem provocative. The military's role is really to secure the United States, and it should only be used internally in the case of a real insurrection. There's no insurrection here in Portland, Oregon. I've been getting emails and text messages from friends all over the Northwest today telling me and sending pictures and saying, this is Portland. I mean, it's a pretty nice place to live. There's no war zone in Portland.
What do you think the motivation would be to send in troops if they're not necessary?
I really don't want to speculate on that, but you can see the direction of everything that's going on, Natasha. People are very concerned about this meeting on Tuesday with the general and flag officers. It's never been done before. It seems to really personalize the responsibilities of the chain of command to the Constitution in a way that's not very helpful.
So the American media seems to make this an issue that is not as it seems, an issue of a president just itching to use federal authority. So it should come as no surprise that Shomari Figures, the congressman from the 2nd Congressional District, is asked about sending in the National Guard to Mobile, which again makes no sense. But Birmingham comes up as well, and that makes far more sense. Shomari Figures, surprise, surprise, is against law enforcement coming into the community.
What do you make of the idea of the president sending the National Guard into various cities around the country?
I think it's reckless. I think it's irresponsible. I think it's unsafe. It's not the country that we live in. America has never been one where the military has been used to perform domestic and local law enforcement responsibilities. It's not what our troops are trained to do. It's not what our troops signed up to do. If the administration wants to be serious about getting more law enforcement personnel on our streets and in our communities, then they should be serious about the funding streams that are necessary to support state and local law enforcement agencies' ability to be able to hire more people, to train more people, provide them with the resources, the salaries, and the benefits that they need to go into that career path.
Now, his argument is that if we would just spend more money locally on law enforcement, then we would have more law enforcement locally and you wouldn't need the National Guard. The problem with that is up until recently, Shomari Figures and his friends in the Democratic Party have decided we needed to defund the police, or at least demoralize the police and make it to where nobody wants to be an actual police officer. Whether it is through smearing them as terrible monsters or having prosecutors who won't prosecute the crimes these guys are going out and putting their lives on the line to make arrests on. Whatever the issue, they've had some problems. Now, they're getting better in Birmingham, but those problems have existed for a while.
And a big update from the Birmingham Police Department telling us today they are getting closer to becoming fully staffed.
In 2024, they were down more than 220 officers. We helped report that story for you. And the City Council passed over $15 million for a recruiting and retention plan for the department.
Your reporter Bria Chapman joining us live at 5 after talking with leaders about where the department stands now.
Yeah, that is right, Sarah. So right now they tell me their message is the road to 100. Their goal is to be 100% fully staffed by the end of this year. They tell me they're getting pretty close. Right now they're at about 90%. They believe they can take it all the way there with this new recruiting class beginning in November. Being short almost 300 officers. Are you all short that many officers? And if not, could you share how many you all are short right now?
First and foremost, the number is not 300.
That was my conversation last August with Deputy Chief Rydarius Malden when the department was down somewhere close to over 220 officers.
So it is time for Shomari Figures to put his money where his mouth is. If he believes we need to have more money for local officers to fight off the evil federal government, then what he needs to do is become a co-sponsor for a bill that has been offered up, and a bill that has a Democrat co-sponsor, to defund the cities that defund the police. I doubt he does that. And if this bill ever gets to the floor, I doubt he votes for it. But all this talk is solely about keeping Donald Trump and the National Guard from going into these cities and making them safer. Now, they're going to tell you they're all for law enforcement, they're all for law and order, but anything that would actually show that, they don't want any part of. They don't want to support the police. They don't want the National Guard coming in. And the last thing they ever want is Donald Trump to get a victory by cleaning up a city like Birmingham. So they're going to fight it at every opportunity to the detriment of the people that live there.